Are your pipes about to freeze tonight? Right now, at this very moment, a massive polar system is barreling toward your home, and what happens in the next 12 hours could determine whether you wake up to a normal Thursday morning or a full-blown household emergency. The temperature drop coming tonight is unlike anything we have seen this winter, and if you live anywhere from Toronto to Halifax, from Ottawa to Montreal, you need to hear this right now. Here is what nobody is telling you. This is not just another cold snap. Meteorologists have confirmed that a stratospheric warming event is splitting the polar vortex in half as we speak. The protective wall that normally keeps Arctic air locked up north is collapsing, and that frigid air is flooding southward directly into Canada tonight, February 11th, 2026. In exactly 30 seconds, I am going to reveal which Canadian cities will see temperatures plummet to minus 20 degrees Celsius tonight, and which neighborhoods are most at risk for frozen pipes and power outages. When this system splits apart, it releases waves of Arctic air that can persist for weeks. We are talking about repeated storm systems and prolonged deep freeze conditions that could extend all the way into March. Here is your reward for staying with me. Toronto residents, your temperature will crash from plus 2 degrees Celsius this afternoon to minus 6 degrees Celsius by 8 p.m. tonight. That is an 8-degree temperature swing in just 4 hours. But here is the shocking part that the basic forecasts are not telling you. When you factor in humidity levels of 70 to 76%, your body will feel like it is minus 12 degrees Celsius or colder. That damp cold cuts right through your jacket and chills you to the bone in ways that dry cold never does. Now, before we dive into every major city across Canada, let me ask you this. Do you know which 3 items in your home you should check in the next 60 minutes to prevent a disaster tonight? I will reveal those at the 3-minute 20-second mark, but first let us talk about Ottawa, because what is coming for the capital city tonight is absolutely brutal. Ottawa is about to become one of the coldest capital cities on Earth tonight. We are forecasting temperatures to drop to minus 10 degrees Celsius, possibly even minus 12 degrees Celsius by midnight. The average for this time of year is already harsh at minus 11 degrees Celsius, but tonight we are going below that. If you live in Ottawa, you are facing not just extreme cold, but also the possibility of scattered snow throughout the evening. We are expecting about 4.5 inches of snowfall distributed over the next several days, and tonight could be one of those snowy evenings. But wait, there is something even more concerning happening in Montreal that nobody saw coming. Montreal is staring down the barrel of minus 15 to minus 18 degrees Celsius tonight. During the period from February 9th to 12th, historical data shows temperatures ranging from minus 16 to minus 11 degrees Celsius during the day. At night, we are going even lower. Wind speeds of 6 miles per hour from the west mean your body will feel like it is experiencing minus 20 degrees Celsius or worse. Atmospheric pressure in Montreal tonight is holding steady at 30.2 inches of mercury. High pressure means stable weather conditions with no major storm systems or blizzards rolling through tonight. The cold will be intense, but at least it will be clear and stable. Now, let me reveal something that might save your home from serious damage tonight. Are you ready? The 3 critical things you must check in the next hour. First, open your cabinet doors under sinks to let warm air circulate around pipes. Second, let your faucets drip slightly overnight, especially on exterior walls. The running water, even at a trickle, prevents freezing. Third, know where your main water shutoff valve is located right now before an emergency happens. These 3 simple actions could save you thousands of dollars in burst pipe repairs. But let us move west, because Calgary and Edmonton residents, you might think the dry cold out there is easier to handle. Think again. Calgary tonight will see temperatures drop to minus 10 to minus 12 degrees Celsius. The air is much drier than in the east, so you will not feel that bone-chilling dampness. But dry cold brings its own problems. Cracked skin, split lips, and static electricity everywhere. Here is the twist. Dry air actually makes frostbite happen faster on exposed skin. Edmonton is facing minus 15 to minus 18 degrees Celsius tonight, matching Montreal's brutal conditions. Being further north means even less daylight and longer, darker, frigid nights. Toronto sees sunset at 5:39 p.m. The moment that sun dips below the horizon, temperatures will nosedive. We are talking about a rapid drop of 1 to 2 degrees Celsius every 30 minutes between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Halifax and the Maritime provinces will see temperatures ranging from -3 to -6 degrees Celsius tonight. That might sound mild compared to Montreal or Edmonton, but ocean winds carry moisture that makes -3 degrees feel like -10 degrees. Plus, you are looking at intermittent snow throughout the evening, potentially making roads treacherous. Vancouver and the West Coast will see temperatures hovering around +3 to +5 degrees Celsius tonight. Instead of snow and bitter cold, you are facing heavy, relentless rain with precipitation that could exceed 50 millimeters over the next few days. Heavy rain creates flooding, landslides in hilly areas, and extremely hazardous driving conditions with reduced visibility. The period from February 11th to February 20th historically represents the driest stretch of February in eastern Canada, with average daily rainfall of only about 1.47 millimeters. This means tonight you likely will not see heavy snowfall in Toronto, but by mid-month, around February 15th or 16th, the polar vortex collapse will trigger repeated storm windows sweeping across Canada. When the polar vortex splits, it destabilizes weather patterns for weeks. You could see a calm night tonight, followed by major storms this weekend, then another calm period, then another storm system the following week. Jasper will see temperatures around -11 degrees Celsius average, with lows potentially reaching -16 degrees Celsius. In Yellowknife or Whitehorse, temperatures could approach -25 to -30 degrees Celsius. At those temperatures, exposed skin freezes in under 10 minutes. Sunshine hours in February across Canada range from only 3 to 7 hours per day. The sun is weak and low on the horizon, providing almost no warming effect. When darkness takes over for 16 or 17 hours, there is nothing to stop the temperature freefall. Let me give you the timeline you need for tonight, hour by hour, so you know exactly when conditions deteriorate. 6 p.m. tonight. Temperatures begin rapid descent across eastern Canada. Toronto drops to -2 degrees Celsius. Montreal hits -12 degrees Celsius. Ottawa reaches -8 degrees Celsius. 8 p.m. tonight. The real cold sets in. Toronto now at -5 degrees Celsius. Montreal down to -15 degrees Celsius. Calgary at -11 degrees Celsius. 10 p.m. tonight. Peak cold approaching. Toronto bottoms out near -6 degrees Celsius. Montreal could touch -17 degrees Celsius. Edmonton reaching -16 degrees Celsius. Midnight. Stable deep freeze. Temperatures hold steady at these extreme lows through the overnight hours until sunrise Thursday morning, 6 a.m. Thursday, very slow warming begins, but temperatures remain well below freezing across most of Canada. For those in Ontario, Quebec, and Atlantic Canada, layering is not optional tonight. Your innermost layer should be moisture-wicking fabric, not cotton. Cotton traps sweat and moisture, which then freezes against your skin. Use synthetic fabrics or merino wool as your base layer. Your middle layer needs insulating material like fleece or down. Your outer layer must be windproof and waterproof. This 3-layer system is your first line of defense against hypothermia. Gloves, hats, and scarves protect the parts of your body that lose heat fastest. Your ears, nose, and fingertips freeze first. Frostbite can happen in less than 30 minutes at these temperatures. If you start to lose feeling in your fingers or toes, get indoors immediately. Numbness is your body's warning signal that damage is beginning. Pay special attention to your feet. Wear thick wool socks, but not so tight that they restrict circulation. Your boots should be insulated and waterproof. Wet feet in freezing temperatures can lead to frostbite in minutes. If your socks get damp from sweat or snow, change them immediately. For drivers, tonight is especially dangerous. Black ice forms when temperatures drop rapidly. That patch of road that looked fine at 5 p.m. could be a skating rink by 7 p.m. Ensure you have winter tires installed. The difference in stopping distance on ice between winter tires and all-season tires can be 3 to 4 car lengths. That could mean the difference between arriving safely and a collision. Keep an emergency kit in your vehicle. Warm blankets, water, non-perishable snacks, a flashlight with fresh batteries, and a phone charger. Add a small shovel, ice scraper, and jumper cables. If you get stranded, stay with your vehicle. Run the engine for heat only 10 minutes per hour to conserve fuel and prevent carbon monoxide buildup. Keep the exhaust pipe clear of snow. When driving tonight, reduce your speed by at least 30 to 50% of posted limits. Increase following distance to at least 8 to 10 seconds. Brake gently and early. Avoid sudden movements. If you start to skid, steer into the direction of the skid and avoid slamming the brakes. Seniors and children are at highest risk tonight. Their bodies regulate temperature less effectively. Seniors should avoid going outside after dark unless absolutely necessary. Children should be bundled up with extra layers. Never leave children or pets in vehicles, even briefly. Watch for signs of hypothermia, severe shivering, confusion, drowsiness, slurred speech, and fumbling hands. If you see these signs, get to a warm environment immediately and seek medical attention. Remove wet clothing, wrap the person in dry blankets, and offer warm, non-alcoholic beverages if they are conscious. People with heart conditions face extra risk tonight. Cold weather forces your heart to work harder to maintain body temperature. This can trigger angina or even heart attacks in vulnerable individuals. If you have cardiovascular disease, limit outdoor exposure, dress extra warmly, and avoid overexertion like shoveling snow. Consider asking a neighbor or hiring help for snow removal. Asthma sufferers should take precautions. Cold air can trigger bronchospasm and asthma attacks. Wear a scarf or mask over your mouth and nose to warm the air before inhaling. Keep your rescue inhaler accessible and warm, as cold can affect how medication disperses. The polar vortex collapse driving tonight's cold is just the opening act. As we move through mid-February, around the 15th and 16th, we are expecting the vortex split to fully materialize, unleashing wave after wave of Arctic air masses into Canada. You could see this pattern. Brutal cold, February 11th through 13th, brief moderating period, February 14th and 15th, then another major cold blast, February 16th through 20th, followed by more cold and storm systems extending into late February and possibly early March. The La Niña pattern that dominated early winter is fading to neutral conditions. As it fades while the polar vortex collapses, high-latitude dynamics dominate. The Arctic essentially runs the show and we get prolonged severe winter conditions. So, what should you do with this information? First, prepare for the next 3 weeks, not just tonight. Stock up on essentials: food, medications, heating fuel, batteries, candles. Fill prescriptions early. Have at least 3 days of non-perishable food and water. 1 gallon of water per person per day is the minimum. Second, check on your neighbors, especially elderly neighbors living alone. A simple knock on the door could save a life. Third, monitor weather updates daily. Download weather apps with push notifications. Sign up for emergency alerts from your municipality. Fourth, if you experience power outages, never use generators, camp stoves, or charcoal grills indoors. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills silently. Ensure your carbon monoxide detector has fresh batteries. If you must use a generator, keep it at least 20 feet from your home. Fifth, know the warning signs of pipes about to freeze. Reduced water pressure, strange sounds from pipes, visible frost on exposed pipes. If pipes freeze, use a hairdryer or heating pad working from the faucet back toward the frozen area. Insulate pipes in unheated areas with foam pipe insulation. Disconnect and drain outdoor hoses, shut off outdoor water valves, and drain the lines. Now, I want to hear from you. Where are you located right now? Drop your city in the comments below, and I will give you specific forecast details for your exact area. Are you in Thunder Bay, Saskatoon, Regina, Winnipeg, Quebec City, St. John? Each city has its own microclimate and specific challenges tonight. Tell me where you are and let us talk about what you are facing. Also, tell me, are you prepared? Have you checked your emergency kit? Do you know where your water shutoff valve is? Have you let your neighbors know about tonight's conditions? The comment section is not just for chatting. It is for sharing vital information that could help someone else. Here is what you need to remember as we wrap up. Tonight, February 11th, 2026, marks the beginning of a prolonged winter weather pattern driven by a collapsing polar vortex. Eastern Canada faces brutal cold with high humidity, making it feel even worse. The prairies experience dry, extreme cold. Atlantic Canada deals with ocean-enhanced wind chill and snow. Western Canada faces heavy rain and flooding risks. The timeline is critical. Rapid temperature drops between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. tonight. Peak cold overnight. Slow warming Thursday morning but remaining well below freezing. Preparation is everything. Layer properly, protect extremities, winterize your home, check on vulnerable neighbors, keep emergency supplies ready. This is not a one-night event. This is the opening of a pattern that could persist for weeks. The polar vortex collapse will drive repeated cold blasts and storm systems through late February. Stay safe tonight. Stay warm. Stay informed. And remember, Canadian winters are harsh, but we are tougher. With proper preparation and awareness, we will get through this together. Comment below with your location and let us keep each other updated and safe throughout this challenging weather period. Your comment could help someone else in your area know what to expect. Until the next update, take care of yourself.